Hi, this is Marek from Tryb Solo. Today I would like to talk about the game called Age Contrived. And this is a prototype copy that I got from the creator Chris Matthew. Thanks for sending it for review. This game will launch on Kickstarter on February 28th. And in this game you play as a god whose power depends on beliefs of mortals. So you want to show them some monuments and help them by building monuments and pillars of civilization, so they will believe in you even more and you will become more powerful. This is a Euro game, a strategy game for 1 to 5 players. I don't have the solo mode. This is something I want to mention at the start of the video. I know this game will have a solo mode. I've read designer diaries on Board Game Geek, where Chris explains how he wants to create the solo mode in this game, and it sounds very interesting. And I believe that the solo mode in this game will be quite cool. But I mostly wanted to play this game because it looks really amazing and unique. And even though this is a prototype copy, it looks fantastic. For me, this could be the retail edition of this game, and I wouldn't really mind. All the components look quite final. You have this beautiful plastic tiles like in Azul games, magnetic elements on the board. You will construct monuments by attaching different sides of the buildings to magnets on the board. It looks fantastic, and I will show you in a second how the game plays, so you will see it with your own eyes how a prototype can look. And then after that I will tell you my opinion on this game, and I will tell you what I think about Age Contrived. So let me show you how this game plays, and then we will be back here to talk about the gameplay itself. This is Age Contrived during a 2-player game. This is not the beginning of the game because I wanted to show you some elements that appear on the board during the game. The main area is the main board. This is the land of the game where the action takes place. It is divided into different regions, like this one, the central region. You have different spots where you can walk around and move with your avatar. You have some gaps where you will put links, bridges that will allow you to go from a different region to region. You have spots to build monuments. Building monuments is the main, you can say, the most important thing in the game, because when you build all the monuments, the game will end and you will count your points. And this is what triggers the end of the game, building monuments. The monuments are really fun because they are magnetic. Maybe you cannot see it, but there is a magnet hidden inside this cardboard piece. And if you build one piece of a monument, you will magnetically attach it to this metal elements that are put on the board itself. On the board you also have, on the left side, you have achievements track, where you will be able to put your beautiful energy tokens and score some points at the end of the game. On the left side you have energy reserve, because each player starts with 13 energy tiles, but during the game you will be able to get more of the energy. Why? Because some of the energy when you spend goes to your discard energy on your player board, and you can use it again, but some of the energy used will stay on the main board forever. It will give you point at the end of the game, but you will not be able to use it, so you will have to gain more energy from the energy reserved. Here at the bottom is the area where you can buy new transmutation tiles. I will talk about them a little later, but each player starts with 7 basic transmutation tiles. They look like this. They have holes where you can put your energy tokens. But during the game you can gain better and more efficient transmutation tiles and replace the basic ones that you got at the start of the game. Apart from the main board, each player gets 2 additional boards. One is the player board, and it looks like this. This is another. You have 5 different characters in this game. Each of them has a specific player board. On the left side are some specific abilities that every character, every god can use. At the start of the game they are covered with these tokens. They are called links, and you can put the link tokens on the board to create bridges between different regions. When you have created a bridge, you can travel from one region to another, but also when your character moves on a bridge, the player will gain the bonuses depicted on a link token. But also when you unlock the links and take them from your player board, you will unlock the special abilities printed on the player board. So each character is asymmetrical, and during the game each character will gain special abilities. Here you have two tracks. On these tracks you have your energy, you can put your energy tokens, and when you climb to the top of the tracks you will gain specific bonuses. This one allows you to put an energy token in a monument area, and this one allows you to put a token on a pillar of civilization. Putting tokens in a monument area or in a pillar of civilizations will get you points at the end of the game. Here you have your character. In this area, this is your you put your discarded energy tokens that you will be able to load into your transmutation board to perform different actions. And here is a spot for a channel marker. The channel marker has two sides. You start the game with an exhausted side, but during the game you will be able to switch it to a charge side, and then it allows you to manipulate the transmutation device. The transmutation device, this is the second board every player gets, contains five different columns. In each column you have one transmutation tile, and each column allows you to perform different actions. During your turn you can either perform all the actions that you are allowed to from your transmutation board, or you can use your turn to advance. Okay, so let me first tell you about the different actions. Each transmutation tile, like this one, has a bottom part and top part. If you have energy in the bottom part, it means that you can use this specific action printed in each column. You have these action tiles. They are the basic ones. During the game you can also acquire more advanced version of the basic action tiles. But let's say you have the 5 basic actions here. So the first column allows you to spend the energy. If you have one at the bottom part of the transmutation tile, you can spend it, you will put it here, and then you can use one of the energy from tile 4 and 5 if you have energy at the top part. So you can spend this energy to take this energy and put it somewhere on the board. You can put it either on an unconstructed monument part, like this one. You can put it here. Each player during their turn, they can add energy tokens to different spots here. When all the spots are filled, this piece of a monument will be built. Players will gain bonuses. They can either get a bonus printed on the monument tile, or they can get the bonus printed on the board. And the player who put the last token here can or should or have to leave this energy token on the monument area on the main board. It will give the player point at the end of the game, but this energy token will stay here forever until the end of the game. So you will lose the energy token, but you will gain points at the end of the game. Apart from putting your energy tokens to use them to build monuments, you can also put them on the dimensional corridor, the area here. And here you can also store your energy in order to buy the transmutation tiles that are here on the main board. And you can do this by performing action number 2. You can exhaust your energy to spend your energy stored in the dimensional corridor to get a transmutation tile. So for example, I can spend this energy here to get this transmutation tile, and this transmutation tile that I got, it needs to replace one of the tiles that I already have. You can always have only 7 tiles, so I can, for example, discard this tile and I can get this tile and add it to my player area, and in future turns I will be able to put it somewhere here on my transmutation device. When you buy one tile, you slide everything to the right and you add a new tile here. Another action allows you to progress on the left and right track, or it allows you to move your avatar. Moving avatar is important because when you advance to the top part of the left track here, you will be able to add 1 energy from your discard area to any monument on the board, so it will give you points at the end of the game. But on this, when you advance on this track, you can only add the token to the region where your avatar is. So if, for example, if I'm here, I will be able to add this token here. If my avatar, for example, will be here, I can add my token to this monument. And the right track allows you to take your energy token and you can add it to a pillar of civilization. They give points at the end of the game, but only to the area where your avatar is. So right now I could put it here, but if I want to put one here, for example, I will have first move my avatar here, and then I can put my energy there. So moving your avatar is quite important. Also, when you move your avatar around the board and you close, when you walk on one of the links of the bridge, on the bridges, you will get additional bonuses. And the last action allows you to, this is like a wild action, it allows you to trigger one of the 4 actions from your player board. So this is what you can do. You can spend your energy from the bottom part of the transmutation tiles to perform different actions. If you don't want to perform different actions, or if you can't, like for example right now, I cannot perform any action because I don't have any energy on the bottom part of my tiles, you can use advance. And advance means that you can remove the rightmost tile from your transmutation device. You will slide everything to the right, and then you can fill the blank here with one of the transmutation tiles that you had to the left side of your board, for example this one. And right now I can fill the one here with new energy. The energy tokens, they have different symbols. The symbols are important, especially when you build different monuments, because different spots have require specific energy. So when I used the advance action, I can refill the new tile that I added to my device. If, let's say, my channel marker will be in the charge side, I can put it to the exhausted side, and I can do it again. So I can slide the second time and put another tile here. So basically, if you switch your channel marker to the exhausted side, you can slide in 2 tiles and you can fill both of them with energy. So this is how you recharge your transmutation device. And for example, in my next turn, I have some energy tokens here. I can again perform some actions. During the game, it's most important to build monuments, but it's also very important to first manage the energy you have on your transmutation device, because it's important which tiles you have where, because they allow you to perform different actions. You have to be careful which types of energy you have at the top row, because this is important if you want to buy, if you want to build specific monuments. You also have to remember that there is this energy reserved on the right side of the board, and it is important to gain energy from there as well, because during the game you will leave a lot of energy on the board and you will not be able to take it back. So when you start, if you start with 13 energy tiles, during the game you will have less of them, so you will have to gain more of them from the reserved. Also, taking energy from the reserve will grant you additional victory points at the end of the game. You also have, as I said, the advanced actions. You can get these tiles as bonuses from building monuments, and you will be able to replace the basic actions on your player board. You also have your conduit tiles. If you put them here, and you will be able to match the symbols on the transmutation tiles with these tokens added to your player board, you will be able to either move your avatar, or you will be able to move up on your tracks here. So basically this is how you play the game. When all monuments are built, you will calculate the victory points, and the player with most points wins the game. So this is how you play an Age Contrived. It may sound funny when I told you that the main reason for me why I wanted to play this game was how it looks, but this is kind of true, because this game looks very unique. And when I've seen some ads and some photos on Facebook, the visual style of this game took me by surprise, and I was really intrigued, because even though it's a Euro game, a strategy game, it looks fantastic, and all the components you have, the plastic tiles, the energy tiles that looks like the tiles from Azul games, if you know what I mean. You have the magnets on the board where you attach different sides of the monuments when you build them. It helps you to get immersed in the gameplay, and I like beautiful games. For me, gameplay is very important, but how a game looks is also very important, and an Age Contrived is a beautiful game. Even though it's a prototype, as I said before, you have to remember some things may change in the final version of this game. But from what I know, this game is quite ready. This is not the type of a Kickstarter game that is undeveloped, half-cooked, and the creators need funding to, I don't know, to develop the game. I think that, in my opinion, this game is ready as it is. It doesn't need any adjusting or modifications. I think that Chris just wants to get funded to produce the game and to deliver it to the backers. I also know that the idea is that this game will be released this year, so this is not a Kickstarter that should be fulfilled in 2 or 3 years from now. As for the game, it's really unique, because I don't know how to describe it. A lot of Euro games have some things in common, like you have resources that you have to gather, and you have to exchange those resources for other resources, and you have to, I don't know, buy stuff and sell stuff, and you know what I mean. If you played a lot of Euro games, they share a lot of similarities between each other. And an Age Contrived is quite different, because you have this energy tiles, but you also have this transmutation board, and you slide this transmutation tiles on the board, and depending which tiles you have there and where you have your energy, you can perform specific actions. Sometimes you can perform more actions, sometimes less, sometimes you can perform specific actions multiple times. And it's really unique, because you don't always have, you not only have to plan which actions you will take, but how to create and how to prepare the transmutation board to be most effective. And this is really cool. I also like the idea that the resource, the only resource in this game, the energy, is used in many ways. It can be used to lock achievements for you for the end of the game. It can be used to build monuments. It's used as money to buy different transmutation tiles. It can be used to launch actions, to perform actions. It can be used to create, to build these pillars of civilizations, and some of the energy used will stay on the board forever, so you'll have less and less energy, but you have this energy reserve that you can get energy from. It's really well developed and well designed, and thanks to the use of just one resource, this game is very easy to set up, because you don't have that many components, and this is a big advantage of this game. Even though it's a, you can say, quite complex Euro game, you have this board, you have some transmutation tiles, the buildings, and each player gets the energy tokens, but the setup takes, I think, 5 minutes. It takes about 5 minutes to set up the game, so it's really, really cool. As for the difficulty of this game is quite abstract in terms of the story and of the things you do. And this is one of the games, it reminds me a little of the Weather Machine from Vital Lacerda, because when I read the rulebook for an Age Contrived, I had no idea how to... I knew how to play this game, but it was hard for me to imagine what should I do and in which order to be efficient and to do different actions. So you have to play it at least once, and even during the first gameplay you will begin to understand how to play this game, how to use your energy, which tiles to get, what to do when. But this is quite abstract when you read the rulebook, so it needs at least one gameplay to understand how it plays. But after that, it's a very intuitive game, and this is another big advantage of this game, that after, even during the first gameplay, I didn't have to check anything in the rulebook. Maybe the end game scoring at the end of the game, but during the game, all the icons and symbols and the actions are very intuitive, and I didn't have to look up anything in the rulebook. You also get this cool player aids that summarize all the actions and things you can do in this game, and this is very, very helpful. And the game is very, very interesting and very engaging, and I have to say it's, as I said before, it was hard to imagine how the game will play, but during the play, the whole engine that you create with the transmutation board and transmutation tiles is very fun to do. It's fun to try to think how to put your energy and in which spots to perform different actions. Also, the gameplay is not complex because you can either perform actions from your board, or you can advance to slide the transmutation tiles off and on your board, so you don't have to spend your time on thinking about the rules, but you can spend your time on thinking how to play this game. If I had to compare an Age Contrived to something, I really can't, because this game is quite unique, and if you are looking for a very different than the rest Euro game, you should definitely check the Kickstarter campaign. For me, this is one of the, I could say, most interesting games I've played in a long time, especially Euro games, because as I said earlier, most of the Euro games I play, they feel very similar to each other in many ways, and this game feels very different. There is asymmetry between different characters, and all the characters at the beginning of the game, they play similar, but when you unlock different abilities, they have a different way of playing. Like one character can teleport through the whole board, so this is really fun. I highly recommend to you to check the campaign for an Age Contrived, especially that this game comes from from what I understand, from a smaller designer, smaller company. But this game is very well designed and developed, and I've read that during Essen, where this game was displayed and where people could try and play this game, everyone who played this game said this is really, really unique and it feels great. And for me it's the same. I think it's I can say really great game. I hope the solo mode in this game will be also very good, but judging by the rules for multiplayer game and how Chris created an Age Contrived, I really believe that the solo mode will be cool as well. And I also like the idea that this game is really complete. It doesn't feel like an unfinished product. The prototype looks amazing. The rulebook is very well written, and I really hope that Chris will be able to fund this game and fulfill this year, because I really cannot wait to play the full version, especially with the solo mode ready. So this is an Age Contrived. Thank you for watching my video. Visit me on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. You will find link in the description. Hit the like button if you like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.